I share my testimony of these photos that we put together this morning. I was not planning to have any photos. I want God to guide me through the testimony because I did a testimony a while ago, and I feel I was all over the place. I want God to be the one guide me through it. And this morning he asked me, send this photo, send this. Okay, I'll do it. First of all, this photo that was 2 months after I arrived from Mexico to the United States as illegal woman, an illegal mom. You can see how God is amazing. And now I know how God is amazing because he gave me a job of a dental assistant. I didn't know I can be a dental assistant. She is the one that trained me to be a dental assistant, and she told me I will repeat it twice, I don't repeat 3 times. This is your job for you, it's for you, or you just leave, don't waste my time. We already pray for her. She's the one going through cancer, and God is working in her life too. The next photo that we're gonna see, that's 2 years after I arrived from Mexico, a year after I bring my kids from Mexico, Alex and Memo. Many of you guys know my kids. My daughter was in a relationship that I was not married. A man that I met after my arrival in the United States. I have my daughter, and when she was only 4 months, he left us. And I have my precious baby girl. It was my whole world to me, my 3 kids. In that photo, a year after, she was still in there. A year after he left us, I met another person. And this time I say, no, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna marry. I'm not gonna give him what they want. I'm gonna marry. Oh, sooner or later he take me after a meeting in work. Get married to the courthouse. I don't even know I'm getting married. He tell me, okay, you sign yes or no? I'm like, oh, okay. I married that man, and that was in April 9 that I married that man, and my kids was not present. It was not just him and me, and I immediately that was wrong. But I was in that photo, that was a Christmas that we was together, and my words start changing because the same night I got married to that man, he left. And kind of on the honeymoon day, I found him with another woman. And the words that I got from that man, it was like, what are you gonna do about it? Go home. It hurts a lot. And my journey and my life start really, really deep in there, going more deep in there. And you can see my kids full of joy, happy because they are around mom, but you can see the sadness in my eyes in there immediately. I used to be super skinny, no matter how many babies I have. I always go back to be skinny, but I don't have babies and still, I don't know. The next photo, that's when my life went rock bottom. In that marriage, I got introduced to drugs. I started using crystal meth. That marriage, that man wanted me to be skinny the entire time. I was already 100 pounds when I met him. In that photo, I was 85 pounds. And you can see the makeup. It was a lot of makeup covered the damage of the crystal meth. Really bad. I don't know why that day, you can see my bed is full of stuff. I have black curtains, is how you call it? Yeah, I start blocking out the light from all my windows in my house. The crystal meth make me feel I was strong, but I don't sleep at all. I was start damage what God create my skin. I start pinching in my face when not having nothing because I feel something is crawling in my face. I was scared to spiders, and I see little things and I start hurting myself. The next photo is more deep. I'm in the bottom. I don't know you guys can see. I think the flower covered a little bit.
Well, there's that's TVs too.
Oh, there. We have a family gathering. My sister-in-law is in the upper left side, you guys. She's a Christian woman her entire life. I didn't know that she was a Christian woman. I didn't know that she was praying for me too until recently, like 7 years ago, I started finding out a lot of things. And she invited me to that gathering. My mom is in the upper right side, all the way in the corner, and the other people, these friends. And I didn't want to go. I said, why? I don't know these people. And that day, when I went that afternoon, I was doing a lot of crystal meth that day. And you can see my eyes wide open, but I tried to put the makeup, and I look really bad. But in that photo, I was almost 75 pounds. And it was bad. I tried to hide it from my family, but my family, I think, know it, but it never face it in telling me. My kids, I'm sure, they don't understand what mom going through, right? Because they're young, they don't know. The next photo, that's when God saved me. The difference of no makeup, no marks in my face, God did it in a weekend that I got encounter with God. My son Alex, he was the one, a little short, I'm gonna share that. They invited me to a retreat. In that retreat, I have only a chance to go to a class. In that class, my son passed out because the people say, oh, come on, raise your hands. And I was like, no, you're stubborn. You know, I don't need this. And my son grabbed my hand and lifted up for me. And he just passed out. I freaked out. I was like, what's going on? He has asthma. Please help me. I was freaking out. And they told me, he's okay. Now I understand what was happening. He received the Holy Spirit that day. Now many of you know that he's a worship pastor and a youth pastor, and how God changed my life in instant. The next photo is my whole family getting together and going to worship, and how God, the process from being without God and have God in your life changed so much. And my focus was now how to bring my kids to his kingdom. Did I have another one? And one more. And that's my mom. My mom in that photo, God started restoring my relationship with my mother. I start loving her and not hating her for the things that I went through. And I know I look super tired in that photo, but in that photo, I was having even 4 jobs to provide for my kids. And the process, I know the process is hard, especially for those single moms. The process is hard, but when you hang in there and you trust God, God gets you through it, and then he lights you up with one job exactly the way you ask. I asked God, give me a job where I can be with my kids on the weekends. And I asked him Monday to Thursday. I asked for my hours, for my pay, and he did it after 4 years. I started getting only one job where the pay I needed, even way more than I needed. I barely work in that office, and I have an excellent pay. But I believe me, God restored your entire family.
Amen.
But he just wants you, your heart, completely.
Amen. So now that you guys have seen kind of like the preview in photos, now you get to hear the whole thing. But I want you to tell everyone, I want you to start with, I know so much, and so many people don't know what I know, but start with your early childhood and the family dynamic in your household, and even, I know this, your sickness.
Yeah. Well, first, I come from dad and mom really bad marriage. My dad was an alcoholic and a cheater. My mom was a strong woman, but her background is really painful too. She never had a figure father or figure mother because her dad left my grandma with 8 kids, and my mom was the oldest, and my grandma went crazy and left all the kids to my mom. And she was only 10 years old and take care of the rest of the kids. and then they was living in the streets. And my mom, when she met my dad, tried to submit herself to him to help her, but she was pregnant for somebody else's kids, somebody else man. There was somebody else dad. And my dad accepted her with that pregnancy and take her to where he was from. And my mom's journey was really painful because she didn't know where she was have to deal with. And sooner or later, the journey started with my mom submitted to my dad, and abusive relationship, beating on my mother, always drunk, never provide for the house. I grew up being so poor. And when I was born, my mom, she didn't have a time to go to the hospital. And my grandma was closing by, and she has this sickness they call rheumatic fever. And it's really a sickness that only can be transferred if that person is close to a newborn baby. That's the only way they can transfer that sickness. I don't know if for sure the rheumatic fever is the way it calls in here, but in Mexico, this is really, really bad one. They attack your bones really bad. When my grandma went to see my mother and help my mother to have me, my grandma catch me, and then is when my sickness started. I was only 2 months old when I almost died, and my mom tried her best to keep me alive. When they told my mother she has that sickness that the other grandma has, and then she have to be pretty much for life with antibiotics. They have to do every other day for me to stay alive. She did much as she can. Being poor and living in Mexico is hard because even medication is hard to provide in those years. Right now it's a little bit easier, but in those years it was not easy. Making sure I was the sick sibling from 5 of us. My older brother, I find out that was my half brother when I was 14. And it's funny because in my entire life, because I was a sick baby, I was thinking I'm the adopted one. I'm sure because everybody look at me weird. My brothers treat me bad because I'm always sick. And I grew up being like feeling that I'm sure I'm adopted. And one time all my siblings and I, we put it together and we said, you think some of us is adopted? All of us having the same feeling that we feel adopted. And when my dad one time, he was so drunk and hurting my mother, my mom got enough. He saw us all growing up already and said, enough is enough, I'm leaving your father. My dad didn't like that. And he started screaming her guts out, say, one of those children's not my children. And we all like, oh, see? And we all got, immediately I start crying because I said, it have to be me because I'm being sick my entire life. And they tired to take care of a sick kid, you know? And one of my older brother, he was like, I was more bonding to that one than the other 3. And he just hugged me and said, I'm gonna love you, sister, no matter what. And then whatever happened, my mom come and talk to us and he told us, oh, it's your older brother. And we're like, what? And my brother, he was one of the nicest brother because he got into 3 car accidents getting out from the school. His mentality was like a child. He was growing slowly, but as a normal kid. But unfortunately, he died when he was 21. I didn't cry when he died. I have no tears. I know that I have to help my family to be together. It was hard, it was painful. I never cried my brother into, not long ago when I moved here to Yerington, when God brought me those tears and let him go. It was hard. Now that I lost my best friend and keep being myself sick, at the age 14, after my brother passed, I got really sick. And I remember my mom tried to provide for us, and my dad not in the picture. Um, I remember that day, I feel I was dying. My mom had to go to work. My brothers left to, my other two brothers and my sister went to school. And I remember sitting at the table, my mom said, I'm gonna go, just try to eat. I know you're in pain. I said, but I can't. I will, just go, don't worry. But I didn't tell her that I don't have a vision no more. It was completely dark for me. But I don't want her to be worried. I want her just to go to work. But sooner or later, I just remember breathing and falling on the ground. And out of nowhere, I hear somebody open the door. It was my mom. And remember, she was screaming, God help us, God help us. And she grabbed me. I just tried to remember because she knows grabbing me is super painful. And not only I remember that's hearing her voice. And the rest, I remember that she told me that she got a taxi, take me to this doctor, and the taxi told my mom that she knows a doctor that he do trials and she wanna give it a shot to see this doctor. And that taxi take my mom to that doctor, and that taxi didn't charge my mom. It was amazing. Then I met that doctor. I will never forget the name of that doctor. They call Dr. De La Vega. And I was in darkness, and I cannot move, but I can hear it. I guess that's a coma thing. I think that was a coma, but you can hear it. And the doctor knows, he said, oh yeah, I've been doing this trial on the kids, we can try on her. And then he tried to say, but I wanna tell you, she come back, it means it's gonna be until she's 37, she may survive because there's so much antibiotics that she's been taking since she was born that her red cells are dying.
Hang on. So, just to clarify what she just said there, he told her that like this trial might work, but she's probably not gonna live past 37, no matter what.
I'm 51. And make it short, I remember waking up. First, I was saying goodbye to, in my heart, I feel like I come back and ask for my father. They tried to look for my father. They found him. When they found him, I was saying goodbye to everybody. I didn't know. I was feeling I was dying. And the only thing I remember, the doctors say I was 15 minutes dead, and I come back. And I come back 100%. I didn't have a feeling of that sickness at all. And for years, I didn't have it. That's the part of that sickness. It attacked me in my life after that only twice. It put me in bed for maybe like couple weeks, and that's it. Never tear me down like I used to be. Over those years, I went through a lot. One is the sickness that I just explained. When I was 5 years old, I got sexually abused of a family friend of my father's side. And my mom teach me how to scream and talk and say it. But in that time, when I scream and talk and say, nobody believed me because he went ahead to tell them what happened, and they believe in that person. And my life it was really, really hard. Growing up, I don't want to have long hair. After when I was 5, being sick, sexually being abused, and I asked my mom, cut my hair. I don't want it. I don't want to be a woman. I don't want it. And then she did it first one because when the fever or the sickness attack, it gave me a lot of fever, and my head hurts a lot, and my ears used to bleed before with that fever, and I don't want hair. And after what happened, my mom, my dad, my aunts, nobody believed me what happened. I said, I don't want long hair. They cut my hair. I was always with short hair, never long, and I cannot try to let go what happened. But at the same time, growing up, I want to be a boy. I want to be, still I know I'm a woman, but I want to act like a boy,
She
like
was
that.
a tomboy.
Yeah, I don't want men to come close to me or guys or kids. Oh, kids get beat up all the time. Every time they want to mess around with me, I say, it's better leave far because, oh, no. But after that, growing up, being a teenager, doing sports, since I got healed with that doctor medication that he tried on me, I tried to live my life 100%. But at the same time, I was facing not having a dad, having mom, but she always worked. And I know sometimes my mom say, no, I never have a favor, but as a child, you know. And my mom was always providing for my older sister. And I know she was missing a lot my other brother. And my other two siblings, we kind of get along, but I never had that connection to share my life with anybody. I just share it to myself. But it's funny, growing up, I know I was talking to someone. I feel like I was little and I was sick, and I say, I know, I can go through this. I know. My mom was a Mormon. My dad was a Catholic. Means Sundays morning, 7 o'clock, we go to church on the Catholic church. Then the Sundays afternoons, we go to Mormon. My faith was super confused. But I know it was a God somewhere, in my own understanding. I know I was talking to God, but I don't know what God I was talking to, You just follow whatever they teach you. I got baptized in the Catholic, and I got baptized at the age 15 on the Mormon church as well. I was a rebel, really a rebel girl, a rebel sister in my family, or my siblings, because seeing how my mom being abused, I always told myself, I'm not gonna let nobody touch me. I'm not gonna let nobody unrespect me, and they're gonna have some of me all the time. That was my growing up telling myself, and remembering all the pain, the beats that my dad gave to my mom. I built a scar towards my dad, and I never call him dad. I always call him by his nickname, Tanis. His name is Abraham and Estanislao. He has two names, but never call him by those names, or never call him dad or papa, never. Always Tanis.
Can I ask, was your father abusive to you kids at all?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, when a dad is abusive to your mother, you get some of that. And that was, honestly, growing up, it was the beats to all my mom and all of us almost every other day. I was like even I was a sick kid, my brothers always throw me in the front to get the first beat. Why? Because mentally I start blocking the pain. And every time he beat us with a spoon or with cables or wood, whatever he found, I don't cry. I start laughing. And he got more angry, and they get all his energies on me. And my brother says, see, you don't feel nothing like that. He's tired with you, and we get less of that. But like I say, I was holding so much towards my dad. And looking at my mom, I love her so much, but at the same time, Mom, how are you so weak? Leave him. He's ugly. I always tell my mom, he's ugly. Why are you with him? You're so beautiful. And she just said, because I love him and because he's your father, and I cannot do it with 5 kids and myself. I don't have a family here at all. But moving after that, when I was When I was 16, I met the father of my two boys. And I was thinking, he knows my past, and he's gonna be a good man. I share with him, and I told him in the beginning, I'm never gonna be married. If we have 5 years together, then I will marry you. And nah, didn't happen. Um, we we told our he told my mom that I'm moving with him, and he told his parents that I'm moving with him. I moved with him, and then I got pregnant for my first son, and abusive started with him when I was pregnant on my first son. I was 5 months pregnant, and he started beating me, and I almost lost my son Alex. I left him when he started beating me, but I have to say, I'll be honest, I beat him back, and I sent him back to the hospital. Because I used to play basketball, and I have trophies, and in my hand it was a big trophy that I won. And when he was putting me down and I tried to protect my belly, I grabbed the trophy and I throw it in his back, and I break 2 ribs on him. And I'm like, oh, that was my free, and I escaped. I left him, and thanks God, my mom in that time was dating an OBGYN doctor, and she told me, let's go with him, and I went, and he saved my pregnancy, and I had my son Alex. Then my second son, my son Memo, that's another scar the devil tried to put in my heart. And for years, I didn't share those things to my kids until I become Christian. My second pregnancy, that was the father of my kids wanted to go back with me so badly. And one time, he came to the house, and I got pregnant. It was, you hope the best. There may gonna be a changes or something. You open that door, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Then he left. He ran away, and I know immediately I was pregnant. For a month, I tried to abort that baby. I talked to witch people. They do stuff to get the baby out. You drink stuff. I did it. He didn't come out. I used to play basketball when it was raining, and I pushed myself so hard to slide myself and hit into the pool. Nothing. Whatever I do, God wants that baby to be here, and that's my son, Memo. I didn't tell my family that I was pregnant until I saw an accident happening across the street from my house, and I started getting so much pain, and I was like almost 7 months pregnant. And I have to tell my mom. I say, I'm in so much pain. I say, what's going on? I say, I'm pregnant. I knew it. And I told her there was a big accident, and it hurts, and she'd take me, and thanks God my son come out perfectly. He pushed himself out pretty much. That baby wanna come out. It was, to me, he's a miracle baby, because first of all, I didn't want her in the beginning. I didn't want him. And having him in my hands, it was the most beautiful thing ever. I always regret what I did. I didn't understand in that time how I understand now the damage you can do to your children, right? But the damage that you're doing to your soul is worse. When he was born in one day, and they kicked me out of the hospital in the same day. That's how Mexico works. The same day I have to work because I applied for a job in Mexico. It's really hard to leave. Being a single mom and you're a mom, they don't hire you. You don't have a job. You're a single mom and you don't have nobody to take care of your babies. It's so difficult to get a job. My mom said, don't worry, I take care of the baby. They call you, you have a voice message. They hire you. I'm like, oh yes, I was so excited to apply for that job. And they told me I had to start the next day. Imagine getting out of the hospital, having a baby. My mom had to tie me, put a little bit of makeup because I was so pale. And then the next day you have to go to work. For 16 days, constantly, I have to work. I breastfeed my son only for 3 months because I was working in a gas station pumping gas. And the doctor told me you cannot breastfeed your baby. It's so much, how they call?
Fumes?
Feels, yeah, it's in your system that your baby is taking it. And say, okay, and that's it. And say, okay, I never had time with my kids, never spent time with both of them. The journey has been really painful. And the opportunity come to United States. My aunt asked me, you wanna go, all your family being here, you the other one, said, but I have 2 kids, that's different. So, well, I talked to your sister, to your mom, they will take care of the babies. When you come, just try, see for a better future for your kids. And something just want me to be there, like come. But before that, the same OBGYN, they saved my son, Memo. My mom in that time was not much dating that doctor. But that doctor was doing my checkups. And I think I jumped too fast, but in between that year, I met someone and I got pregnant from that person. And I know God told me, even as a Christian, sometimes you hold so much stuff that you don't want to be open too much sometimes because you feel shame. But God told me last night that I have to be open to say everything, even if it's gonna hurt me. Between the 6 months, 8 months before I moved, I got pregnant for just random guy. You know, as a woman with so much stuff, you just don't care. You just want to place things, you know? And I didn't want it. And that meant they say, no, I'm not gonna. I said, no, it will happen only one time. How is mine? I'm like, what? But I went back to that doctor and asked him if he can take the baby out. And he said, well, you have to pay me. And I'm like, well, I don't have money. I'm like, I can do payments, and I sell stuff that I was attached so much. And especially was a professional camera in that time, that my first job was working in a camera place when I was 17. And I saved it so much because it was like a trophy that I did my first job, you know, and you work doing cameras. And I remember telling him, well, I'm gonna try to make tips. Can I pay you with my camera? Can you do the job, please? He did it. He took off that was my first abortion in that time. I feel like something got ripped out of my heart. I was only like possible 2 months pregnant when that happened. I have to go back to get a checkup with that doctor. When I got a checkup from that doctor, I was in so much pain. Nobody knows about it. I was by myself going through all this. The only thing, I just hug my kids every time I start doing that stuff. And I remember going to the doctor, and I saw him coming in with his daughter, saying, "This is a quick visit. Don't worry. Get in the clinic." And I can smell that he was drunk. And I say, "Okay, this is gonna be gone." He said, "I left some gases in there that I need to clean you up, make sure everything is good." He tried to put me a little bit anesthetic to be under, but I start feeling everything. When I open my eyes, he was sexually abusing me.
It's hard. You got to speak up louder. I know it's hard, but some people can't hear what you said. She was sexually abusing her when she woke up.
And he tried to tell me if it hurts. I just lay back and cry because I put myself into this. After that, he put me more anesthetic. And the only thing I remember, I wake up in a park. And it was really, really hard to let go. I remember going home crying, and my mom would say, "Are you okay?" I say, "Yes, Mom, I just going through tough times." I was never open up to my mom doing a lot of things. And I tried to heal in my own way. Then the opportunity come to come to United States, and I have my kids. I talk to my two boys. I'm sure they don't understand, but they say, "Yes, Mom." You know, Alex saying, "Yes, Mom. It's good for us, right?" And I say, "Yep." Memo was, he's a loving kid. And even it was ripping off my heart to leave them in Mexico. I came. That picture, what that doctor did, make me to push myself to come to United States. Illegal. Risking my life from the desert. And when I cross, I feel something in me that was like a big protection. For 10 months, as soon as I move, I arrived to United States. I make it safe, thanks God. And I was picky for the jobs they was giving me. I was really picky. They put me to clean houses, and the first lady give me a toothbrush to brush her kitchen floor. And I'm like, no way, I'm not doing that. And then the other job, they put me to babysit a baby. And I said, if I don't babysit my kids, I'm gonna babysit somebody else's kids. But I did it. That was another experience that I got. I was babysitting the last baby. And the last baby, the dad came early to take over for me. And he just asked me, "Can you just wait until I finish my shower and you can go?" And then he come out of the shower completely naked. And I freeze. And I said, "This is not right." And I ran away. I left. I'm like, I got outside and said, "What's happening with these people?" You know, like, I just come to work. I don't need this. I don't need it. And I put my foot down and I told my aunt, I didn't tell my aunt because she gave me this job, but I told her I'm not going back there. I'm not. That baby, you guys need to keep an eye on that baby because that man is weird. And that's it. I keep keeping myself too. And I told my aunt, I'm gonna go back to Mexico. I should never left because there's no work for me. I don't speak English. I'm trying my best. I changed my channels to English, and I'm not learning. It's hard. And my aunt's, "Okay, let's give it the last try." I clean a dental office. They're looking for assistant. You want to give it a shot? Oh, it's an office. Yeah, why not? I went, and my journey as a dental assistant started there. Not knowing anything, not studying, not having any degrees in the United States. But God is so good. God is so good. Until you meet Jesus is how you know that he's been good to you for your entire life. I started working in there. I met the friend that I showed you guys, the dental assistant. And I started dating my daughter's dad in that time. And the time that I don't have my kids, in those 10 months that I was in the United States, I met my daughter's dad. And I was feeling that I was in a good relationship, and he knows about my kids, I know about his life, kind of. And then I was about to bring my kids, he helped me, and then I told him I'm pregnant. He said, really? And he was super happy, I was super happy. When we went to pick up my kids from Mexico, because they come in illegal too, he got arrested because he was going to get them, but I didn't know that he made an agreement with another person he met to help him to bring another families to United States, but the immigration stopped him, and he got arrested. Then my kids was not in there, and I'm like, and I didn't understand how he got arrested, whereas the kids, I was worried for both. But in the moment they told me that he was picking up somebody else for money, I was like, oh. And then he got released, and then I went another way to pick up my kids. Thanks God, my kids made it. My pregnancy was beautiful. He was there. But when she was only 4 months, she was only 4 months old, he brought me a woman to our house, and he told me I need to leave. He said he was my ex-girlfriend, and she just recently come back with her, and he want me out because I was living in his place. We moved in, and I was living in his place. I got super angry. We got physically fight, and I can't believe that I have all this time with him in a pregnancy, and he gave me engagement ring too when I was pregnant, and I'm like, this is it. I even got involved in his Orthodox church. My 3 kids got baptized in the Orthodox church too, and I'm like, this is it. But nope, he left us. I got depressed, and I started looking for jobs, leaving my kids again, and I got pregnant in between, in and out of actually, I skipped one part, I'm sorry. Before my daughter, when I was dating him, I got pregnant too. I got pregnant. And that friend, the coworker, I told her, I shared with her, I'm pregnant. I said, oh, you can get it out. I'm like, and my heart immediately bring me back what I went through with the first one. And then when I told my daughter's dad that I'm pregnant, he didn't want it. He didn't want it neither. He said, well, there's clinics in the United States, you can get it out. I'm like, why? Well, I'm with you. That was way before I was planning to bring my kids here. And between my coworker and my relationship, I had only 2 people telling me, get it out. And then what I went through in the past, I don't know, your heart got kind of hard. And I decided to say yes. And I said, okay. She knows where to go because she shared with me that she got many. And I'm like, it's super safe. And I was only 21 years old in that time. I'm not saying I'm super young, but yes, I am young, but in a lot of scars in my life. And you kind of, in a new place, in a new country where you think everything is the best, you know, and I'm like, okay, it's safe, and she tried brainwash me. The baby is not a really baby. It's just, she put it's like a little worm, but it doesn't have a heart. That's how she pictured me, the abortion. And I say, okay, let's go and do it. When I went to that abortion clinic, I see a lot of people with boards and stuff, but I don't understand English much, and I didn't know. And she just ignored it. And between my friend and my ex, they tried to just block me. You know, I wanna know what the other people were saying, but I never know until now that I'm Christian. I know what was it. Soon I got to the clinic. They locked. When the doctor come in, I look at him, he's in a wheelchair, and I'm like, ooh. In my heart, how he's gonna do a surgery when he's in a wheelchair? Well, I guess he did it. I was completely under, I didn't feel a thing. I get out, but I feel something again got ripped out of me. I didn't cry, I don't know, I didn't cry that time. And I just let go. I was still with our relationship, and then again I got pregnant, but I was already living with him, and he was super happy to have that pregnancy, and I was confused in that time because he wanted this pregnancy, but he didn't want the first one. I'm like, how that happened? I don't know. And I have my beautiful girl. It's scary to have baby girls because what you're going through, but she's my best friend. God sent girls in your life for a reason, and boys too. Boys is you angels, you protectors. I have my daughter. It was rough when he left us. I cannot find a way how to provide for my 3 kids. I struggle a lot looking for jobs. I met my first husband because the other relationships, they just are relationships, never married. I met this man 2 years after the father of my daughter left us. And I said, nope, I'm not giving him nothing. Nope, I'm not moving with him. And he want me really, he had to get marry me. Well, he took me to court, and we got married. Like I said before, I went to the courthouse, no my kids, no family, nobody. Even he borrowed our rings from another couple behind us. They can marry us. And it was really weird. The feeling that I have, it was like, this is awkward. This is now how I picture getting married. But I guess he was desperate. And like I say in the photo, on the April 9th, that's the day we got married. And the same night, I found him with another woman. And my deepest, dark journeys is starting there. I'm not saying the darkest before is not dark, it's dark. But the darkest of my life, it went down the hill in that marriage. I want to believe that I have 3 or 4 abortions more. The last one almost killed me.
You have to speak up. Sorry.
The last one almost killed me. I was 3 months pregnant when the last abortion of that marriage. And every time I get pregnant, he told me, you need to get it out. Because it's so easy for me to call immigration and you guys all can go. And he started giving me the drugs for me to start looking skinny. He was actually my husband, my dealer. He was a pure darkness. He was not physically abused at all. He was emotionally abused big time. Anybody know that met that man, nobody can believe what I say. Because his words is the most sweetest words you can ever want to hear. You just want to hear how he speaks to you, how he has so much love for you, but the sweetness is how he drags you to do what he wants you to do. And we got only one time physical fight, one time. And only because he laid his hand on me after I catch him with another woman over the 6 years we was married. He is still a bartender, and every time I pick him up, he was making out with women all the time. And that time, I got enough, and I say, no, you driving yourself home. Tell that woman who was you making out to take you home. When he show up in home, first thing he slapped me, and I cannot put up with the slaps. I break his leg. And I feel so guilty breaking his leg. I don't know, my reaction from the slap is just kick it. I don't know, it was some strong kick. I had to call the paramedics, take it to the hospital, and then a couple months later he had to get a knee replaced, or not knee replaced.
Surgery.
A surgery. They had to remove bone from his ankle to repair whatever I broke. I was feeling so guilty that I'm like, oh. So I never do that. I fix it. When the last pregnancy, that was it. That was the end for me in that relationship. I begged him, said, I can feel the baby is moving. He said, I told you, I don't want that baby. He said, please, we married, we need to have, I don't want babies. And he take me. When the doctor did the surgery, I can hear like cracking bones. And I was crying, and I remember hearing they say she's waking up. They put me more anesthetic. And like I say, I didn't remember what happened. I wake up in my house. When I wake up, he told me you was not waking up, and they say you may dying in there because I was bleeding too much. And they tried to wake you up, and they got you out of the back door and put you in the car and say, she's gonna die, she has to die in your house, not in here. And when I arrived at my house, I was in the room feeling sad, depressed, pain, and bringing back the enemy so knows how to bring you back every single moment, the things that I did, because I did it. I the one make the choice to do it. I just in that moment I was feeling that that was it. This is the end of my life. This is too much pain. I cannot handle. In that room, I don't know what happened. He was on the living room, and I can see it. He was there playing PlayStation. And I remember that day, something come out of the closet. It was two dark shadows coming out of the closet and going circles around me and try to enter, and I can feel like taking my breath away. Like, I don't know, those dark shadows, it was so real to me. It was hard to forgive or forget. And then I remember he was running, following his knees next to the bed, and he started saying how you say Padre Nuestro?
Oh, our Fathers, the Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayers. And he started saying, and I just tried to repeat it because I feel like I'm leaving. And immediately those dark things go back to the closet, and the light come on. The light went off, like off and on, off and on. Something dark was in that room. And he left me. He left. I was by myself in there. My kids was that weekend, my kids was with my mom. I didn't see my kids until Sunday. And I started getting better, but I was in so deep depressed, so deep. Still doing drugs. After doing drugs, I moved out of that place because he completely left me. I moved to another apartment across the street. In that place, he come back, and I bring him back again. I planned one time to kill myself. I planned I was in depression pills. They changed my depression pills a lot, but I keep them. And I remember saying, if I take all these pills, I will fall asleep deep. And that one day I just say, I cannot go farther from this. I can't, it's so much. I remember my kids come from the school. I feed them. And I put a movie for my kids. And I told my son, Alex, I leave the prepaid phone that I have. I remember telling my son, in 2 hours, if I don't open the door, call 911. My daughter was so little. I put my daughter in the middle, Alex in here, Memo in here, and I put the TV. I go back to the room when I have everything ready to take my life. I even bring a chair. I close the door, and I put the chair like that. The kids can never open the door and see me in there. When I turn around, I don't know how that happened, but only God knows. My little girl have the pills and throw it in the toilet. That's all I remember. I just had her the entire day. That little girl is my whole world. My 3 kids is my whole world. They the one God used them for save my life. And I turned around after I saw my daughter throwing the pillows on the toilet. I hold her, turn around, and like, how that happened? The chair's still locked. I'm like, how that happened? The chair's there. She didn't say nothing, but now that I know God, I'm sure that was God. Just in his own children, you know? And then I got out. Then my life kept going, still with drugs. It's funny, I never pay a single penny for my drugs. The drugs come to me freely. I never had to sell anything. We always have. I know, everybody knows. I don't like to cook, but my kids always have meals in the house. After that, that's when I hit bottom. I was not working for a year, and I have my first experience. One of my patients, before I stopped working, my heart was completely broke. I go to work, but I was in tears constantly. And this patient, normally in that clinic, we give cards when we create something temporary. The patients can call us back. If they have any pain, they can ask questions. Then she has my number. I make a temporary, and I remember she was laying, and then she just raised her hand and prayed over me. She invited me to a Bible study. Said, come on, I promise God can heal your marriage. God can, and she kept telling me, but I was like, no, I'm not cockroach from the temple, no way. I was like rejecting her. One day she asked me, just come once. And I said, okay. I went, and believe me, when I went to that Bible study, I have in my pocket a little bit of crystal meth in there, and I was there. I was crying, and I didn't understand why I'm crying. Why this lady is saying this nice, but I don't want to be here. And they prayed for me, and they asked me, you should come to the church. I said, oh, okay. I remember leaving, and I'm like, I'm not coming back. No way. This is not for me. I tried Catholic, I tried Mormon, I even tried Jehovah's Witness too, and that's not for me. And I left. I completely ignored all the things over the time, what they say. When I catch my ex-husband again with another woman, it was like, I cannot breathe, this is too much. I remember my dad asked me, can he pick up the kids to take it to my mom? And I said, yes, go for it. He picked up the kids. That day, they cut off the power. And I called my ex-husband and said, hey, you need power the power. I said, for what? I don't live there. And I say, please come. You need to pay the bills. I don't work. Well, it's your problem. It was hard. And that day I decided, that's it, it's enough. I'm gonna kick this man out. He come back. I already grabbed all his stuff, put in a garbage bag with garbage in there, put his stuff, and put it in the door. And I put it outside. We have only one car that we share. It was my car. And he kept knocking on the door. I changed the locks, and then he knocking, hey, open, I'm not gonna pay the rent. I said, don't pay the rent, but I don't want you here no more. I yelled at him, and I said, that's enough. I cannot survive this marriage. This is so painful. You don't care, you don't have feelings. And I said, okay, as you call, I'm not paying I was about to put the power. I said, no, I don't want it. If I have to start over from bottom, I prefer start from the bottom. And that's the day I have enough. He left, said, I'm taking the car. So still send your name. I cannot do nothing. Just leave me. My kids were not there. I remember there was no power. It was around like 6 o'clock. That's when the time is in June, when it start getting dark. And then I remember one time that patient told me, before I left the Bible study, she said, just remember, God, if you ask God for one test, one simple test, He will respond you. Just ask Him, He will answer. I remember that she said that. And it kind of penetrated before I left. But you know, over the time, you just let go. With drugs, you don't care. And then, that day, something hit me really hard. And that voice that she gave me come back to me. I just remember opening a little bit of the window on my room. I got on my knees. I got a little Bible that I got for my daughter when she was little. That's the only Bible that was in my house. And I look at it as this Precious Moments Kids Bible. I never read it, but I like it because it was cute. And then I got on my knees, and I asked God, if you're real, like that lady say, please bring me anybody from any church. I want 3 days with you. I will do anything. I want 3 days with you. I do everything. I will surrender my life to you. soon I say those words, I have my prepaid phone, I have only 5 minutes left. After I say, I lost everything, I don't have nothing. The phone ring. When the phone ring, I answer, I'm crying. I don't know why even I answer. I was hoping that was my ex coming back. But no, immediately that was that patient that I don't see for a year. And she say, Mari, I'm in the Bible study. God told me to call you. And I didn't have your number, but all the ladies helped me to look at my car for your number, and we found it. Are you okay? I said, no, please come and get me. I need help. And then say, 1 minute left. I'm like, oh my God. Say, where do you live? And I just give her the name of the apartment, and they cut off. And I start crying that day. I was like, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. I don't have nothing. And like 20 minutes later, these 5 ladies show up. They're screaming her guts out for my name, Mari, in the whole apartment. I open the door, I look at him, and something anger come inside of me. And I say, how you guys found me? I'm like, I was angry that I was there. And then they say, well, you told me the apartment, and we find out. And they look around the apartment, they start praying for me. And you know how the enemy, they still want to control you. And then he keeps saying, you're not cut out for this. This is not for you. And the lady say, well, where's your kids? I know you have kids. Say, yes, they with my mom. So let's go get them. I'm like, why? They're gonna kick me out from the apartment tomorrow. Say, let God take control. But I was still kind of in shock. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are they doing in here? And then when they got me out, that was driving me to pick up my kids, that patient say, hey, tomorrow is the last day to go do the last class to go to a retreat. And say, what is that? And say, oh, it's 3 days with God, and I start crying. And I'm like, what? I said, did somebody told you something? I said, no. I said, okay, well, how much I have to pay? I don't have much, you don't have to pay. We take care of it. And that's when I went to that retreat. The first day, I take the classes when my son received the Holy Spirit, and I didn't know anything in that time. My son pretty much motivated me to do it too, because I still was confused that God was listening, even I know he was listening. I went to that retreat, and this family tell me they're gonna take care of my kids. I said, but I don't wanna leave my daughter alone. She went through a lot of stuff too, and I protect so much my daughter. I said, trust God. They keep telling me, trust him. I said, but I can just drop it off with my parents. I said, just trust God. I left my kids with that family. And I was so scared to leave them. For 3 days, it was hard. And the first day, I was angry. I was like, oh, I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. And I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be good. I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. I was so cold. I was not listening to nothing, to worship, to prayers. I was so stubborn. And to a Saturday after lunch, the pastor's wife come on the stage and they start sharing testimonies. And then she just say a word. They say, this is your last day. If you're the one asked God for 3 days and you're not taking anything from these 3 days, the gray that you was coming from the dark when you come is still there when you come back. But you really want God to change and bring you back to light. This is it. This is your night. And I was still hard about it. And today play a worship song. And that little voice of girl come up and say words to the mothers. And then this is when I broke. It's when I surrendered my life to God. It's when I got into my knees in that moment. And I told God, please heal me. Heal me. I cannot do it. Show me that you're real. Show me that you're gonna be with me all the step of the way. I hurt myself so much, trying to do things on my own. I remember that day. And I remember the same night that I was raising my hands up with my knees down in the ground. I have a vision where God was coming down the stairs, a gold stairs, so bright. When He coming down, I can only see He's coming down, His feet. And then I saw grabbing His clothes. And I feel this love, this amazing love that's hard to explain. He told me I'm healed. I am healed. And I just remember there was like too fast for me that I did that. And I was thinking that was only 50 minutes that I spent with God, but I didn't know that when I wake up. When I open my eyes, it was even hard to see clear. I see water. I see people, ladies, submerged in water. And they say, don't touch her. She's been anointed. Finally, I told God, I'm good, I'm okay now. The sister, she told me that I was there on my knees for more than 2 hours. I'm like, I don't feel it. It was too soon. It was too fast. And everything changed since then, since I take God in my heart, since I surrendered my life to Him. Even that I share those abortions, I come back. When I come on Sunday morning, I didn't want to leave that place. When I wake up that morning, that Sunday morning, I never see gray or dark or black. I see bright. I see sun. I see glowiness. It was so beautiful. And I just want to come back to see my kids and let them know what I experienced. Soon I see they give us a letters that we read, and I was super happy to read that they wrote something for me. And other people, they don't know me, they wrote something for me. In that retreat on Sunday, that was husbands from another leaders in there. And one of the husbands bring me a Bible verse that he said that God told him to write it out for me. And that Bible verse has been my anchor, the process with God. And then my life has changed completely in an instant. On Monday, I was supposed to have a blood transfusion for the sickness that I used to have, the rheumatic fever, because I was really low in red cells. Before I went to this retreat, I was in doctor's appointments, and they was keeping an eye on me in here. And my doctor, before I left, he told me, no matter what, okay, my sister is a Christian, I respect you guys' religion, but I'm a doctor, you just have to follow what I say. You're in danger to be having leukemia. You need to come back, and we need to do the blood transfusion, see if that works. And I was scared too, because I'm like, rheumatic fever, now leukemia. And I went back Monday. I was super happy. And he looked at me, are you okay? I said, yeah, I just come from my retreat. I said, oh, okay. And he did blood work. And he wanna send another blackboard to make sure everything is how he planned it. The second day he called me, and you need to come back, I need to run another blackboard. I'm like, oh my gosh. Immediately your mind goes like, okay, God, this is your plan, because start talking more God's way. And I said, I can do this, I can do this. He got the blackboard again. He called me the second day. He said, I may have to do another one. Like, why? What's going on? No. Just let me do one. That was on that was Friday. And then he called me on Saturday. I'm like, normally they don't open Saturdays. And he called me to come to the office. I went, and the front office, they crying. I'm like, oh boy. You go, everybody's crying. That's nice encouragement. And the doctor is crying, and I'm like, what's going on? I said, okay, because they've been seeing me from the sickness since I moved from Mexico. And I got it twice in here, only twice. And he cannot speak. And he said, I don't know how this happened. And he's like, my sister told me many times to come to the Lord. But no more proof I have in my eyes and my own results. You not have rheumatic fever. And I'm like, hallelujah. And he's like, you're free. I said, I am free.
Hallelujah.
To me, the vision that I got from God the day of the retreat, that was the day that he healed me from everything. Everything. And my life has been a healing. Not because being Christians, it means you stop healing and stop the day you got Christian. No. I've been sharing with the people in the church. Meeting my husband is my process of healing. Seeing my kids getting married is a process of healing. Seeing my work where I am is a process of healing and work. Being in the church, even the days we don't want it, go for it because it's a healing for you. Don't let go. Not because we're sitting in here that he's a pastor, I'm a pastor's wife. Doesn't mean that we not heal. We're still in a healing process. Until we met God, that's when our healing is finished. Sorry, I cry too much.
Do you, I didn't have to even interrupt you. But do you want to share how you were able to deal with the shame and guilt from your abortions and how God healed you from that?
Yeah. Over the years being a Christian and going to classes, because in the Latino church that I used to go, they give you class to give you a continuing thing for you to heal. You become a leader, you graduate because they do classes, and then I finish all my classes and I graduate, and then you become a leader. You're allowed to open a Bible study. But in the Bible studies, they give you the study to give to the people, but at the same time, God was telling me to apply it to my life before I give it. So you read it, you study, because you're the leader, you're the one. God was telling me, you're the one is gonna explain what you're living on it. And it's what I did. I have Bible study, and I studied that, apply it for a week in my life, and always comes something alive of that Bible study that I didn't even know what it's gonna be until I read it. One day, it was like a year and a half being in the church, they start talking about abortions, and I'm like, oof. I never talked to anyone about the abortions, only the dads, the ones they know about it. But never. I was still keeping myself and never be free from that. And they give me the study. So, okay, you guys have this. You guys have to put this video. And I'm like, oh, no. Sunday, I go home. I go to my room. I look at it. I'm like, how? How am I going to apply to my life if I already did? I'm like, how am I going to speak God? I already did it. I was one of them. And over the week, I was battling if I want to open the Bible, that study. When I start reading it, God stopped me completely. And he said, you need to share your testimony. And I'm like, say, God, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed what I did. He said, you're gonna heal. I'm like, but how? I don't have a partner to talk. I don't talk to anyone about this, not even my kids. I went home. I put the video. I cannot watch the video. It was really painful. I was crying. My Bible study was on Thursday. I show up on Thursday. I played the video. Everybody was quiet, one people falling asleep, and then I'm like, and God told me stop the video. I'm like, okay. I stopped the video and I start sharing my testimony with everybody. And I share what I shared today. But it was really painful in that time, worse painful, to open up and share every single thing. I remember just crying so much. In the moment I fall on my knees and I ask God, forgive me. Forgive me what I did. The opportunity, the rejecting opportunity for those kids to live, to have a life. Everybody in the church, I pass out. Actually, I start on my knees, I cry, and I pass out too. I pass out completely. And every time I try to wake up, it was so much pain in my stomach, like I was having a baby. And I pass out 5 times. And those 5 times, my leaders praying over me, and the whole Bible study start praying for me. And I said, why it hurts? And I keep feeling like I'm having babies. And I keep passing out. Finally, the last one that they said, okay, now breathe deep. My spiritual mother, the lady that she told me that she was taking care of my kids, she's my spiritual mother now, and we still talk to her until now. She's my family. She's the one hold me hard and said, that's it, you're free. And I feel breathing again. The same night, I left the Bible study, I went home, my kids going to sleep. I fall on my knees and I asked God to forgive me again. When I was in my knees, I was crying, I still cried. And I remember open my eyes and my walls in the house is white. In my room, my bed was close to the wall. And I remember opening my eyes and I have this vision, how God opened the wall and there was a waterfall coming down. And I was still crying for what happened. And God told me to enter. I see this waterfall, I cross to it, and then I see these green pastures, like super green, beautiful green with multiple flowers. And then I see farther a tree, like farther away a tree, and a lot of people in there. And he told me to follow him. I keep going and walking, and soon I get close. There was a lot of babies in there. And God told me, this is your babies. And I said, why? And he said, they want to talk to you. I didn't see all the babies' faces, only one. And he told me that's the last abortion that I have. And that was a baby girl. She turned around, she looked at me and held my hand and said, Mommy, we forgive you. go back home. Tell Daddy that we hope to see him here in heaven. It was the most beautiful thing. I will never forget. She was like 5 years old, curly hair, blonde curly hair. She was beautiful. And God took me back to my room. And the only thing I remember, I wake up the next day. I was still on my knees, and then my body was like that in the bed. I was all night on my knees, and I didn't feel a thing. And that's when I know that God healed me. It was amazing.
So, just a little bit about that. After her and I were married, and she had shared a lot of this stuff with me in pieces. And one night we were at home, and we were watching that movie, The Shack. And in that movie, the guy goes through the waterfall, and he sees his girl in that pasture with the flowers, and she just grabbed me, and she was like, "That's it. That's what I saw." But it was just one of those things where you're like, it's evidence, because that movie came years later, you know.
We didn't know. We was planning to go see it, and then we didn't get tickets, and then we bought it. And I said, let's watch it after church. And we watch it, and and I'm like, what? And when I saw the lady taking him to that waterfall, my tears start coming. And I'm like, no way. And then I grab him. This is no way. And I keep going. I'm crying and crying. For me, it was a confirmation that I didn't dream it. It was real. It was real. For me, God confirmed it. Yeah, I was there. That's your babies. And I know. I'm happy. I've been sharing with another people after that healing. But for my kids, they know pieces only. My daughter right now, she knows my whole testimony. Because they've been hearing pieces. I never share my testimony like the way I share it today. But that's amazing.
And you guys here at church have had the opportunity to hear her share other pieces of, since coming to God, the things that he's taken her through, allowing her to lead her father to the Lord eventually, to go from hating him and not calling him by his name to saying, "I love you, Papa,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgive you," and to pray for her parents, and to, you guys have heard the story where she went back to Mexico and the taxi driver took her by the place where she was abused as a little girl.
And forgive that abuser.
And was able to forgive the person who abused her.
When I was
And
5.
all of those things are only possible when the grace of God lives in you. And we don't know everybody's story. When we run into someone, or we see someone on the streets, or we see someone who's angry or bitter or resentful, you don't know their story. You don't know the trauma they've been exposed to. You don't know how many hurting people hurt them. And we write people off as unredeemable or unworthy of love or unworthy of grace. And we don't know everything that person has been through in their life. We don't know what their journey is. We don't know how many times their heart has been stomped on and how much abuse they've suffered. But the beautiful thing is, nobody is beyond God's ability to redeem. Nobody is beyond the power of the blood of Jesus to cleanse and heal. And my wife, just because I know the trauma and the things that she's gone through, and to see the woman of God she is now, and how she loves people, and how she gives of her time and sacrifices, sometimes to the point where I'm mad. Hey, what about my time? Well, I got to go do this for this person, or I got to go do this for that person. But it's just because God gave her a heart to serve and to love. And I envy that about her. And I find myself, like I said this morning on my living room floor, saying, Lord, break me. Like, just whatever. I don't care how bad it hurts. I don't care what you have to do. And I know she's going through the same process and gone through it. And all of us have to continually submit to that process of saying, God, break me. Break me of my pride. Break me of fear. Break me of everything that's not of you. And we have to give him permission to do that. And I don't know if all of you have had that experience, but sometimes God shows up in your bedroom. Sometimes it's in your car. Sometimes it's a whole day and a half or 2 days where you just want to cry and cry and cry. And it's because God's doing a cleansing work in your heart. He's doing a healing work in your heart. The important thing is to stay submitted to that process and allow him to do what only he can do. We can't fix ourselves. We can't go, oh, I'll clean myself up and then I'll come to God. It's not how it works. Go ahead.
I wanna pray for whoever is in here that is still in the healing process of sharing your testimony or bring alive again your testimony. Never is too late to share it. Never is too shame to open up and speak out. I was worried in the beginning if one of my kids gonna be here or my kid's gonna be here, because it's hard bring back the past. And my daughter's here, but God told me you have to say it. She's living a life right now that she needs to be awake. And I have to be open to him. Because if I'm not open to him, how am I gonna protect my kids? And I know you guys saw that I got baptized again because I cannot remember when I got baptized before. I'm sure I did. Even my kids, Mom, you did, but I don't remember. But I'll be honest with you, why I got baptized again is because even I was in church, I was in a healing process, even I got baptized by emotion and I don't remember, I did things even in that process that was not happy for God. I still did mistakes and do things that was not right for God. If I got rebaptized and I got reconciliation again with God, it's because I told God, I'm all yours. No hiding spots no more. No more holding things because I'm ashamed. No, because you bring me farther out from me to be holding things and not sharing it. That's why I baptized. I asked to get baptized again because I want to remember and ask God, I'm all yours. That's it. You my whole everything, my King, my Lord, my Savior.
Yes.